Welcome back to Shake Sip Spill. And today we have our guest, Maya Nicole. Maya Nicole is a self taught, abstract, and intuitive artist from New York City, exploring the depths of emotion, identity, and transformation through mixed media. Inspired by surrealism, dreams, and nature, she works with materials like acrylic, oil pastel, broken mirrors, and gemstones to create textured, tactile pieces that engage both the eye and the senses. Maya uses vivid colors, bold text, and the human form to address themes of vulnerability, resilience, and self discovery. Her art serves as a medium for transmuting complex emotions, embracing authenticity, and empowering others to reflect and connect deeply with their own experiences. So let's get this interview started. So today's guest's favorite drink is a Sex on the Beach, but she wants it with tequila. Boo, boo, boo. But, whatever they want, they get. So this is how we make it. Today we're gonna need orange juice, cranberry juice, peach schnapps, and of course tequila. If you want to use reposado or anejo, it's up to you. But I strongly suggest blanco if you're going to switch it out to tequila. It's the closest as possible to vodka. Garnish, you're going to need maraschino cherries and an orange. Glassware, you're going to need a hurricane glass, or you can use a Collins glass, but traditionally you will see this sort of cocktail served in a hurricane glass. Jigger and a peeler. I'm using a peeler because I'm going to do an orange rind. If you want to use an orange wheel, you'll need a knife and, well, you would cut a wheel. So this is how we're going to go. We're actually going to put ice in our glass first because this is not a shaken cocktail. It is built in the glass. So let's get some ice. My hands are clean. Fill the cup up. If you don't fill the cup up, it'll be filled with juice. It doesn't make your alcohol content any stronger. In fact, you need the ice because it'll help keep your drink colder for longer. And while you think it waters it down, it in fact helps maintain it not be watery. And I can show you guys a video on how that makes sense because science. So we're going to go in first with our orange juice because it's the heaviest. And we kind of want to layer this drink if we can. So we're going to go in with 2 ounces of OJ. Actually, let's go in with a little more. Let's do an ounce more. Yeah. So that's 3 ounces of OJ. Going in with our peach snaps. I don't have spouts today, so we are just raw dogging it. An ounce of your peach schnapps. This is a very sweet drink. That's why you shouldn't use tequila because tequila makes it even sweeter. But 2 ounces of tequila blanco. We are using Grand Padre tequila blanco. It's actually really, really good considering that I dislike tequila so much. There we go. Cranberry juice is going to be our floater type. So we're going to go in with about an ounce. That's what you want. You want this nice, really pretty gradient. If you're not a super big orange juice fan, you can reverse this. You can do 1 ounce of orange juice and then do 2 and 3 ounces of cranberry juice. It's very much up to you as long as you're using the base ingredients. So this is what we have here. We're going to garnish. Like I said, I'm going to do an orange rind. I am very much a rind person over a fresh fruit person. I think it adds just enough zing. Just going to put that in there. Okay. And then we're going in with maraschino cherries, which again, my hands are clean. I'm going to grab about 2 for each cocktail. And that is a Sex on the Beach. Welcome back to Shake Sip Spill. I'm your host, the Spirit Curator, and today we have Maya Nicole. If I had a studio audience, I would have them applaud right now. Gotta add a soundtrack into this thing. Thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course, I
so
met
excited.
her one time in a game night and said, "Absolutely, you must be here. Absolutely, for surely."
Yeah.
And she has me drinking tequila. The first one on the show that has me drinking tequila, and
We love the first.
To first.
Okay. To first.
Here is. Oh, yes, I gave you the straw because I filter yours to the top.
Oh yes. Okay.
Her favorite cocktail is a
yes.
Sex on the Beach, but she wanted tequila, and so here we are.
Here we are.
Ooh. Oh, that was delicious. Yummy.
No, it's really good actually.
I'm so happy. She's happy. Okay. Let's ease them in. We want to get to know Maya Nicole in all the different ways. And first, we're going to talk about her artistry. You're an artist, but if you really dig deep into what being an artist is or the understanding of art, you realize that it's really relative to like the person. So, like, what is it about art, or what is art like relative to Maya Nicole?
That's a good question. That's a good cocktail. I would say art relative to me and what it mainly represents is this ability to really communicate with self and like my own intuition and feel really affirmed and comforted by that process of this is the main time where I can kind of just vibe out and be myself, and I don't have to worry about it being right or wrong because I'm making my own rules and in this space nobody's telling me that's a problem, so I really like that. And yeah, I think that's like channeling our own like inner gods and stuff. So that's something that is really I try to push, with my art and when I'm talking about art. Like it really helps you connect with yourself and your inner God, and I think that's so powerful.
I feel like because you can take the way people's words and make them mean anything. And what I took from that is all of us has a god or a goddess. There's a point of us that where we can exist at our highest level. And I think that art, especially the sort of art that you do, as you guys can see, like we're not just talking, and not to downplay classic art in any sort of way, but there's a thing about being able to look in and just being able to paint what you feel, and it being like it's not right, it's not wrong, it's not what is somebody gonna like this or is someone gonna understand it, because it's not about understanding, it's about art being relative to me. This is what art is to me. And if we all had a photo or something in like the dictionary for everybody that was like art and what's relative, everybody would be different.
Yeah.
And nobody would be wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I love that. I love that because I have my own little goddess in me, like my little bartending goddess.
Yes. So she's coming out.
We on what episode? What, 7? I think this will be. And
what's a lucky number?
Oh, we love that. Like, look at that, and we didn't even know. Like when things align. Let me tell you something. Let's go back really quickly to when we met, because that game night. If any of you know me, you know that I love games. When I say we were in tune, it was insane.
They couldn't take us.
They couldn't. The two of us together, a problem. Like,
they couldn't take it.
Oh my god,
that was a good game.
That was we were eating them up. Okay. This.
I'm just really happy thinking about it.
Do you see that? Because it's like somebody would say, "Oh, that's petty," but is it? But no.
Nah, we was killing it. They were not quick on their feet. They didn't have no good answers,
and they weren't using their brains. That's not on me.
What were we doing? Like charades or something?
Something like that. It was like charades, a thing that you couldn't maybe you couldn't use words or something like that, like a taboo-esque sort of game. And we put out the water, blew them out. Oh, I knew from that moment. I said, "Girl, yeah." Yeah, we fucking
Since yeah,
in.
we locked in.
We locked in, yo. Like,
Oh
oh,
wow. People don't
see,
use their minds, their imaginations. They weren't.
they weren't.
They
It was,
weren't in their imagination.
and that's because if I want to be real, I don't think that they were creative. You gotta be creative. You could be a creative, but you weren't creative. Like your mind wasn't open. You wasn't using that 10%. That like you know what I mean. You wasn't grabbing deep inside like and pulling at that creative because your
Yeah.
imagination was small, so you was
Mm.
thinking small. You was thinking big.
Ooh, think big, bitch.
Think big. I want something that says beyond.
I'm gonna take a drink to that.
Yeah, that's right. Small mindedness ain't never gonna get you nowhere. That's the word. I try to find a word in every. That's the word of the episode. Small mindedness. Well, it ain't never gonna get you nowhere. Open up, think big.
Gotta think big. Nah, you really killed me with that one.
Grande.
She said they're not creative.
They wasn't.
Confident.
I'm.
I love it. Because we won. So, I mean, that's what we should do.
My thing is, I won, so I'm trying to give you the strategy to win the next time. Think big.
Big.
Be creative. Besides of the two
Yo.
of us being talented in board games, okay, she's also very talented in multiple artistic mediums. You do physical material because you said you do like gemstones and textured tactile art. You do photography, which pretty sure is in the intro. Also, when I did my first episode with Ronnie, you were up on the walls, and I definitely caught a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, painting, as
Yeah.
we see behind us. Do you have a favorite? Is there one that maybe is like more natural to you?
Well, I guess painting would be my favorite in terms of the physical process and just being able to readily do it like as
Mm-hmm.
much as I want to. And I feel like that's a whole process that I get lost into. Photography, I really do enjoy. I loved it more so when I had darkroom access. So when I was
Mm.
able to really like, develop my own film and burn and dodge my prints and really make them come to life
Right, by your own
by my
hands.
own hands. Yeah, I really love the hands-on process of it. So photography is really special to me, but it's a little different when you have to go to
Mm.
like the studios and such.
A little bit harder when you can't just, if I'm feeling it right now, just do it like maybe painting or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to do it. It's a little without having the access to the dark room, which I'm assuming is extremely important to
Yeah,
photography.
for
I know
film.
nothing
Yeah,
much of that.
for the film process. Like a lot of people, shoot 35 mm, and then we just kind of go to the this photo store, and we give them our canister of film.
She has said 35 mm, and I got lost
35
immediately.
like millimeter, like it's just like the standard of how people would shoot film today.
Mm.
Whether they have a point and shoot or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a little like DSLR. I don't even know what you call it.
Totally understand.
Anyways,
Totally.
we would go and give it to like a CVS or a photo
Yeah. Okay.
dispenser, whatever place. And that's cool and it's dope. And you probably can get some great quality photos done there. But there is nothing like having that hands-on dark room like experience again of even seeing if your film came out good, seeing
Mm-hmm.
that first photo on the film when you pull out the canister, like being in the dark and having to find it like with your fucking mind's eye, like
You know, she's
yeah.
talking about it, and now I feel like anytime I've ever seen like one of those dark room scenes in a movie, I was
Yeah.
like, they dragging it. They making it so moody. Everything's a
No,
slow DT,
yes.
and it's holding you to the
Everything.
light. And now I feel bad because it's like, oh dang, oh
Yeah, it's
that's a real thing that really happened. They're not
yes,
okay.
it's
I'm
really a
sorry. I
process.
meant no offense. I meant Madam Photographer. I meant no
Hey,
offense.
it's a thing sometimes you don't know, right?
I really
But
didn't know now, but now as I'm listening to you,
yeah.
you make it akin when you talk to another creative
Mhm.
about the things that it's nothing like I can tell someone to make this drink, but it's nothing like me doing it. I do
Yeah.
enjoy the physical movements
Mhm.
of pouring a bottle and
Mhm.
measuring this out, and there is a physical love for being hands in on it.
Yeah, for
I don't.
sure.
I would always want to bartend. I could teach some classes.
Mhm.
Hint, hint. Stay tuned. Uh, but I think that I would never ever just want to be a teacher.
Yeah, I
I
feel
couldn't.
you. I feel you.
I need the hands
I
on.
feel you. I teach art now, and it's like, yeah, it's deeper than that, you know. It's
Yeah,
it's deeper than that. So I definitely feel you.
yeah,
I
that's all.
definitely feel you.
But classes, are
Fast and
probably
soon
coming
coming.
soon.
Need me one of those. I'll be
It-
there.
so you were talking just like photography talk, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
lost. So
Yeah.
for those of us who are non-artists,
Mhm.
um, can you explain what abstract and intuitive art is versus, just maybe the regular normal medias that people might, know?
Yeah. So I consider myself to be like a self-taught artist. I pursued like a business degree and I did take art classes growing up, but when you're in school, everything is kind of graded and on a scale, so
Mhm.
there is a high understanding of what's good versus what's bad.
Mhm.
And for me, once I started doing, well, I used to paint a lot when I was a kid, and it was just a bunch of colors and random strokes. And I'd be like, "Hey, like, what do you guys see?" And that's kind of, oh, that's abstract and intuitive to me, right?
Okay. Okay.
Putting colors and emotionally processing onto the canvas, and then letting the story kind of build and
Mm.
turn into something. A lot of
Okay.
times, I don't work with pre sketches or anything like that. I really think of a lot of words like, oh, I want to talk about this story and I want to talk about independence and depression and sex and love,
Ooh,
and
that was a
heartbreak.
that was a whirlwind of feeling that she wanted to talk about. Oh my.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Okay.
It'd be like that for
Love
real.
that.
And I just like kind of channel that into the painting, and I think about what color represents this
Mm.
word, right? And this emotion and this feeling, and how does this stroke do that? And how does this brush versus this brush create that moment? Um, sorry, I'm getting excited
No,
here.
no, no. I'm glad you actually brought that up because I was
Yeah.
thinking so recently I've been talking about how colors make me feel. So or
Yeah.
or or how I view colors and emotions.
Mhm.
So like, and I don't know if it's like symbolic throughout the years. So for example, purple, it gives me royalty, but a different color purple can also give me comfort,
Mhm.
calmness,
Mhm.
and then a different sort of purple gives me sad and grief.
Yeah.
And I feel that also with numbers. Like there
Mhm.
are certain numbers that I don't like. People don't like saying the word moist, right? There are certain numbers that make me uncomfortable, like even just looking at them. Like I don't know, I feel like it's a bad number.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 13, for example, I know that symbolism already put in my mind. I can give that away, right? But something about 17 is very sinister.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know what it is. Something
Mm.
it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I don't trust it. So I'm just saying, like I fully understand the push. Don't laugh. I'm so
No,
serious.
yeah. I'm locked
I,
in. I'm locked in with you. This is
I
this is
fully
great.
understand the the connection of feelings to
Mhm.
emotions and things like that. Like
Yeah.
I play Sims. Oh my god, I love talking about Sims. Sims one
Okay.
day, if you could sponsor me, let me tell you something. I would sell the shit out of your stuff. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. Like if I could just I could they have drinks there and the drinks are boring. If you just let me make up some cool like names for Sims drinks
Mhm.
or whatever,
Yeah.
come on, like reach out. Don't play your girl. Anyway, I've been playing Sims for damn near 20 years, right? And no matter how many times I create a living room or a dining room or a kitchen, right? In respect to that order, a living room is almost always a nice, cream, sort of open, neutral,
Mhm.
where it makes the room feel larger. It's very open. It's very like inviting without being
Yeah.
too much. The kitchen's always like a yellow or a green. It's very sunny, right?
Mm.
Because the family's supposed to be in there. That's always the
Yeah.
vibe. Dining rooms are always very moody. I go like a
Mhm.
burgundy or a dark.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, but these, I don't understand why I allocate these moods
Mhm.
to these colors, but I do.
Yeah.
And also numbers and 17, I'm watching out for you. That's all I'm fucking saying.
All about that color psychology, colors do mean things and they do represent things, and colors down from, like you talk about, like your aura and your chakras are represented by colors, and there are colors like you said, purple for royalty and green for sometimes something that's nurturing or something
Yes,
that's
like
reminding you
life.
of nature, it's
Mm-hmm.
life, right? I think all of those things are important, and numerology as well, the study of numbers and what they represent.
Yes.
17, that's funny because they say numbers that add up to 8 represent like fortune, it could be money and stuff like that. Um,
I don't know,
so it's
17.
funny why it's like, why wouldn't it resonate for you, right? Like, what's 17 got to do for you? Something to look
Okay.
into.
So I
I
tell
think
you, I don't know what it is. There, I don't know what it is.
I
I don't
think
like that
everything is
number.
spiritual, you know?
I
Like,
love that. I don't
yeah.
know much about chakras.
Mhm.
Um, I do know about chakras in Naruto, and I don't know if
Okay.
those two things align.
Okay.
Stop! I'm saying that's all I know. I'm open to learning, but that's all I know. Um,
Yeah.
but I do know that I've heard about like auras again, like
Mhm.
a yellow being maybe calming or something like
Mhm.
that, an orange meaning maybe introspective,
Mhm.
which I think is cool. And there's also a thing on YouTube where if you look up like the Olive song, that there's songs based on colors.
Okay.
And if I can find it, I'm gonna put a little clip of one down
Yeah.
below. And it was really cool. I got so stuck into like hearing
Yeah.
what all the different colors sounded like.
Yeah.
I loved
Well,
it.
so have you heard about like how they would say that Earth was like a musical instrument, and like everything, like all sounds and everything that are produced by nature is a
Oh
part of that instrument.
wow.
So there are ways that you can hear like colors on certain frequencies
Wow.
depending on like what frequency wave you kind of tap into. And then they would say that these colors are representative of the chakras. So you can have blue tones that represent the throat chakra, which is blue. So if you ever are hearing, like if you're feeling like like your throat is stuck, you would turn on like chakra based like hertz music, which essentially are sound waves or light wave situations. Like
Wow.
wind, you know, you go sit by the ocean and you feel calm and you
Oh my
feel
God, yes,
lullabied
absolutely.
by that
I
energy.
love it. Especially
Yeah.
that's why one of the reasons I love the beach. You just get on
Mhm.
the beach and you just sit there and it's just the
Yeah.
most calming thing to hear the birds. Like, oh my
Mhm.
God,
Yeah.
nature. Oh my
Yes.
God, that's what she was talking about. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God, wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
Exactly.
The-
Exactly.
this is why you have
And
conversations
everything,
with people.
yeah, and
This is
everything is
why.
connected like that. And I
This is
think
why.
as an artist, I get really excited because that's the life that I have to live in. You know,
Yeah.
you have to, when you're looking for constant inspiration and you're trying to find not even artist alone and not even inspiration, when you're looking for clarity in
Mm,
life, like you're looking at every day, like the
yeah.
mundane, you know, the things that you kind of pass over.
Yes.
But then when you are thinking about like fucking wintertime depression, right? And all of a sudden you need to go on vacation. You need to be wearing bright colors. You need
Yeah.
all these certain things to help
Kind
stimulate
of,
your
yeah.
mind and your brain, you
That
know?
seasonal depression is no joke.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Shout out to the spring.
Yeah, because like what I think it was the first day that after 5 o'clock the sun was still up. I did a
I was
jig.
so happy. I
I
was like, oh my god, the sun.
hooping and hollering like I ain't have no
Uh-huh.
sense. Oh, I love me some spring. I love me some spring. Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness. Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Oh, I love that. I love that. Um, so how did you find the space to begin teaching yourself? Because there's a lot of people maybe who might see that they have a talent, but don't know how to hone it. Don't
Mm,
know the feeling that it is to even want to hone it. Like, how did you
yeah.
say this is what I like and I want to get better at it, and been able to reach these different pinnacles of different mediums of
Yeah.
artistry?
Um Well, in ways, I want to say that I've been practicing art my whole life, right? Like I used to paint a lot when I was a kid. When I ended up switching into public school, I started taking art. They had opportunities for me where I could do like zero period art
Mm,
classes, and I could take photography classes and be in the darkroom in 10th grade, you know? So I always had that background. I just felt like I liked art. I won a couple awards here and there, but
mm-hmm.
I felt like it was like a hobby, you know, like an
Yeah.
extracurricular school activity that I had to take that I just so happened to be good at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at everything though, so what the fuck is the big
Period.
deal? So, um, it wasn't until I was actually in college, I was pursuing my international business and marketing major, and I came home one year. My mom's friend was actually an artist, and I went to the showcase, and I was taking film in college at that time as well, or about to. I'm lying. I was about to.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking. I went to the art show. I saw the art. I'm like, oh, hmm, this art is nice. Some of this art is ass.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this art is
Questionable.
questionable.
Mm-hmm.
but everybody looks so happy and everybody's so like talking and everybody's like, really doing their own thing. And I'm like, I could be a part of this shit.
I could
Like,
do this.
I
The
could
fuck?
do this. And I think that same time I was working, I'm like, Mom, we gotta go to Michael's, And that's like where it started for me as well when
Okay.
I was a kid. So then I was going to Michael's every other week getting canvases, and I had made a couple pieces, but I had one piece. I still have it to this day. It's called Pretty Perfect Woman or a Perfect Woman, depending
Mhm.
on which day I typed the Instagram caption. Um, but when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, you should get back into this. And then ever since 2018 up until now, I have been like, just immersing myself
Mhm.
more and more into my artistry and honing in. It feels different as a self-taught artist because there was a time where I felt like there wasn't a place for
Mm.
me and like my skill set and the things that
Mhm.
I liked. And then the more I just leaned into fuck it, like
Exactly.
I can only do what I want to do, and
Like we said, create that space.
I've created that space for myself, and that's why I really was grateful that there was even an underground like creative scene because I didn't have to have you know this BFA and have
Yeah.
all these things in order to showcase my work
Mhm.
and be able to say like I'm an artist,
And be appreciated
and
for
be
it at that.
appreciated for it exactly. So I was really happy about that, and I've just been figuring it out as I go. I'm starting to now in my it's been about 5 years since my first showcase and however many years ago that was. And I feel like now I'm in a place where I'm seeking out like more mentorship and more
Mhm.
like guidance to get, just to a different level of it. But I am I don't remember the question, but
No, no, no. Wait. I don't think I remember one question either. Oh my god. Hold on. Wait. Oh yeah. No, you showed me. You told me. Yes. It was
okay.
about how did you know when, and you were like, you went out to the
Okay,
show,
yeah.
and you was like, yeah,
Mhm.
some of this shit is. And
Yeah.
but sometimes that's what it is. It takes that moment sometimes. Like I with this and the bartending, I've gone out and I've tried different drinks, which is why I do like if you look at and follow my TikTok, which I hope you do because I reached 1,000 followers recently.
Ooh,
Ah, see,
nice.
see. Um, but I do drink reviews, and it's because I feel like I can do this, and I
Mm,
have done it, and I've done it great.
yeah.
So if I'm going out in New York City and spending $16 or something, you know what I mean? Especially in these places that are like fine dining restaurants, places that
Mhm.
wouldn't hire me type things. I've gone to a few places that I've applied to, and they said absolutely not. And I've tasted your drinks, and you've been lower than a six. That's all.
Ooh.
That's all. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say. I that's all I'm gonna say. But normally, by this point, we are done with our drinks. This
Mm.
is kicking both our asses.
Yeah,
We are
absolutely.
still going to take a break, grab some water, get some fresh air, and we'll be back with more Maya and Nicole.
Okay.
She's a creeper.
Phew.
I don't often get these sort of drinks because I don't really like the sugary aspect of it. She's cute. I see why people drink this like on vacation, like on the beach or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a sweet tooth. I love like
Oh,
sweet drinks.
oh, that's good. Oh God, but then I tasted tequila.
Making me want to drink some.
Okay.
Well, not that part, but
All right. So, pardon. I often like to say that I feel like there's classism in like the art world to an extent because like for example what I do like curating cocktails, there's an art form to creating cocktails. Like there's margaritas are not just made, sex on the beaches are not just made. Do you feel like when you create this sort of art that maybe society doesn't feel like we talked about, like is a right or you know what I mean, or the most popular, do you feel like there's a classism in that? Do you think that it's looked down upon in terms of if you were to say, like I'm an artist, and then somebody goes, oh, like Picasso, and it's like you're like, no, I do this. Do you feel like you've ever been like looked down upon, or that that's ever been a scenario that's happened?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think people sometimes look at my work and they kind of will like scoff or be
Mm.
like, "Oh, that's what you do," or like, ah. But I feel like that's also so rare,
Mm.
and I also just don't give a fuck. Like,
Period.
I feel like early on, it was very difficult for me to separate my emotions from my response of the public
Mhm.
perception to my work, and everything felt like a personal attack. Like, oh, you don't like my work. My work represents me, so you don't like me. And it's like, you know what? Everybody just has their likings,
Yeah.
and everybody has their interests and their bubbles. And I don't really take it any kind of way when people maybe don't get it or they don't understand my work. I think that my work is just very unique and it's very
Mhm.
special. And if you are able to embrace it and interpret it, then
Yeah.
like it's for you, and if you can't, like, thank God,
Then
like it's just not for
then it's
you.
not for you.
Yeah, and I don't really feel a kind of way, but I do think that like classism and like elitism, and also like especially because I exist in a different realm, I'm not like
Mhm.
in a gallery
Yeah.
fully like represented type of way. um there's different levels to artistry, right? And what's deemed acceptable. And depending on which world you exist in, certain things fly and certain things doesn't. I have a lot of words on my work and a lot of like sometimes my proportions are off or
Mhm.
maybe the hues aren't balanced and I don't care.
Right.
But to some artists, I read someone said recently, like, oh, if you have words on it, like you cannot be a fine artist. You cannot be on my level. If you want to be like Basquiat or whatever, fine, but you'll never be on my
Oh
level or like someone
wow.
else's or someone else's. And I just thought, like, opinions are a hell of a thing
Mhm. They like, what
because
is it they say? Like, they're like assholes. Everybody has one. That's one of those. That's one of those sayings because
facts.
everybody has a fucking opinion,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes it's exhausting.
Mhm.
Like, so I love that you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's exhausting trying to even defend yourself, even if you're not just like, trying, if you're not like conforming, just defending. It's exhausting
Mhm.
trying to explain yourself to
Yeah.
people who realistically don't care, and
Yeah.
no matter what you say, they're never gonna get it.
Mhm. And I think that goes back to what my process is. My process is really embracing this idea of like what feels good when I'm creating on the canvas.
Mhm.
Nothing more, nothing less. And if I feel uncomfortable, I deal with my emotions as they come up and I focus on my breath and I
Yeah.
do these things. But ultimately, like the whole entire process is about me becoming comfortable with certain levels of discomfort.
Mhm.
And a part of showing my work is a part of that, like
Mhm.
ritual or
Yeah.
practice or whatever. So when it comes down to like getting feedback, like I've taken my work out and I've recorded having conversations with people and they're like, I would have added some more lines, and I would have made a little harsher contrast here, but it's still good work. It's good work. And it's like, okay, like you did not buy the piece. You sat here and gave me criticism. I appreciate you for taking the time to look and observe my
Mhm.
work. And art is so subjective. Like
Mhm.
what I think about my work, you cannot see or you can see or you see your own thing and that's also valid,
Yeah, of course.
and it's also true because sometimes I'll be like, damn, I could have added some more contrast now that you pointed out.
And
But
it's like, thank you,
thank you, but I'm not
but
gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it
because
how I am.
in this moment when I created that piece,
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed to
Mhm.
add more lines. So
Yeah.
I think that sometimes a lot of artists, um, or anybody who creates anything, because I make it to like I would akin it to myself. Is sometimes I'm making cocktails, and sometimes I'm like, I should just stop. I should just stop. This feels good. But then I go, oh, but somebody else might say there's not enough this to it. And it's because I'm a critic in itself. Like I said, I go and I review cocktails and things like that. And so on the one hand, you have the people probably like, all right, but you're not buying the liquor or you're not buying whatever. If I'm like, oh, I wish they used a better liquor, or if I wish they used more of this, like, I don't know the budgetary. Maybe there's a reason you only use this much. Who knows? Whatever. Like you said, everything is subjective. Everybody has an opinion.
Mhm.
Um, and we're all valid to what the opinion is, especially because it was our experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why there's a lot of food critics out there. I think it's also like a big thing that's booming right now. And being a critic in most things in general, movie critics, TV critics, etc., because people are feeling like, and as they should, that they have a voice. And there are people who agree with you. You're talking
Mhm.
8.10.700 billion people in the world. I don't know how many people in the world,
Yeah.
but with this ability on social media to like be able to connect everywhere,
Mhm.
um opinions and criticism like that are just like bound to come by. But feeling good and solid in your truth and knowing that like in that moment this is what I wanted to do is like solid. Because often there's like I'll make a drink or something. I'm like I'll in that moment I'm like this is it, and then I start having doubts, or I'm like, dang,
Mhm.
blah blah blah. Or somebody goes, oh, I would have added more lime juice, and I'm like, you know what, dang, I could have added more lime juice, but there was a reason I didn't. It's
Mhm.
about trusting your gut, your intuition,
Yeah.
your your talent, what
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I don't know what we're talking about, but that got kind of deep, and I love that. So you said at 2018 is when you started really focusing on the mediums of your artwork, really like pushing towards, and then you said it's a part of your process is kind of just feeling and working through the emotions. Since then, has it changed, especially now with you being 28? Everybody say happy belated birthday to Maya.
Thank you.
um do you think that your processes have changed in any way?
Absolutely. I think everything about my entire fucking program, has changed. When in 2018, like I was still in college. When I
Mm-hmm.
graduated, I was working. I was doing my like social media management. I was interning. I was working with events in New York. I was on an agency. Like
Oh.
I was doing a lot of different things. I was styling at the time. So my creative vision for myself was completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew art felt good and I could do all these different things. But I don't think that I think my process has definitely changed because I've learned more about myself and more about my emotional
Mm-hmm.
capacity and how to further like transmute things. Before I was connecting a lot as well to like my pain and like just my hurt, and now I think I'm in a place where I connect to my inspiration differently.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would say me now at 28 versus 2018, like there's definitely been a lot of changes in my process, and not in a good way, but just more in like an evolutionary
Mm-hmm.
type of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there should always be growth. There's no matter
Yeah.
what, big, small. It's not really about these big leaps and bounds. I was talking to her earlier about like how this first season of this show is very much a learning curve for me. And that if you follow along and you're up to date, if you notice every episode kind of has something different to it, some sort of
Mhm.
update that makes it better than the last one.
Yeah.
And at first I kind of was just like really bummed out because I'm like, dang, I didn't do it in the first one. It's gonna look choppy. Well, but you gotta kind of just roll with it, and the
Mhm.
process of how you do things change,
Yeah.
sometimes in increments as small as um, a few minutes, because you can adjust and change your mind to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's called the adaptation of things. And or change can happen, or the process of it changing can happen in long term times. For me it's a course of a week maybe, and then sometimes in the course of 6 months to a year. Like
Yeah.
process and change and time is just a whole concept that I think
Mhm.
is just, I love the word relative, but it that's what a lot of the world is. A lot of the world is subjective and relative to each individual.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you
I
have
agree.
any advice for any up and coming artists, especially like the sort of independent artists, the artists that we talk about that maybe don't do the conventional work, and even artists that are not up and coming, like that are in their craft, because we can all use a little advice.
Yeah. Um I think the biggest thing, and it's like is really simple, is saying like trust your intuition.
Mm.
So if you're doing something that you feel is unconventional, or you don't see a lot of it, you don't see a lot of it for a reason,
Hmm.
and it's not a negative reason. Like people are into it. People just don't maybe have the ability to be bold enough to share, and that's how I feel
Yes.
about my art and what I do. Like I don't think it's super unique and like odd, and like someone out here isn't doing maybe something just as good or better than mine.
Hmm.
But I also just feel like it's a very empowering thing for self to just put myself in these situations where I'm showing my work because
Yeah.
I care that much about it, right?
Yeah.
And I would encourage anybody, if you care that much about it, like you'll know when it's your time to do it,
Yeah.
right? And we can worry about the other critics and the other opinions of people, but like my own mind, my own self is a
Hello.
very worthy critic and adversary on its own. You know, I
Hello.
don't need the fucking help of everybody else and their two opinions.
Trust
So,
me. There's nothing that you can say to me that I haven't already said to myself.
mhm,
There is nothing like there's nothing. I
mhm,
can promise you
mhm.
the self-acknowledgement is there, sweetheart. I'm aware. I know there's
Yeah,
nothing you can tell me like, and
yeah,
that's a very strong superpower to
mhm,
have that I think that people don't maybe give themselves credit for if they have,
yeah,
because a lot of people don't have that because they fucking care
yeah,
and it rules their life.
mhm,
And having a sense of self, sense of acknowledgement and knowing what's going on, yeah, no, yeah,
yeah,
that's a superpower. If you can do that and you have that,
yeah,
you tea.
absolutely.
So we're sipping, we're enjoying. Do you ever sip when you're painting or creating, or do you feel like it might be a hindrance? Because some people, need to and really want to have that clear mind, and some people also kind of just don't.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna definitely sip or puff. As a
Okay.
part of my process, because to me it's not only about having a clear mind, it's having a mind that's free of judgment, right? So my sober mind is a little bit more critical. She's a little bit
Yes.
more like, oh, I don't like that, why would
Yes.
you do that,
Yes.
no. But me, a little fade in me is like, oh, okay, like
I'm feeling
I'm feeling
this.
this. I'll make it work. You know, like this is
Yeah.
actually I'm rocking with it. Or you might be a little rose colored glasses. I don't know, whatever the hell, but I think
Mhm.
that it helps because it really gets you into a state where you're not overthinking your
Yeah.
movements. And that's what's really important in the work, you know, is that you're able to just let things be and
Mhm.
move on and add to it and keep going and
Yeah.
like just adding. And I think sometimes when you're speak for myself.
Yeah.
In a sober mind, when I'm creating, ooh, that is
Mhm.
the mic.
Mhm.
Okay, you're not allowed to like really do that.
No, I
So yeah.
100%. I feel like that. Um, no, there's actually nothing. You said it perfectly. Like we just said it. Like I'm my biggest critic. Your mind
Yeah.
is your biggest critic. Your mind is your own worst enemy. Which I love
Yeah.
to tell people that. Like, um, and yeah, like being able to kind of just let go and just not care or think and
Mhm.
just do.
Yeah.
I love me a little sippy or two. I
Yeah.
just
And you don't want to be drunk. You just want to feel
right.
that good when you want to start flirting after that first drink.
Yes,
That's where you want to create
yes,
from. You
yes,
know, like
yes.
that open spot. That like
You're not trying to get sloshed or obliterated. No
yeah.
one's, you wanna
No.
you just wanna vibe. You want a
You just
just a little vibe.
yes, a little
Yeah.
shoulder raise,
Oh,
like
shoulder raise. Okay.
absolutely.
Now, I've been giving her praises, but respectfully, you're a criminal. I'm gonna explain why. You prefer tequila in a sex on the beach, and I would very much, I would love to know how you would like to be charged with your crimes. Because why?
Whew,
Because why? Because is tequila your favorite alcohol?
it
And
is.
please tell me why? Why? How? How?
Vodka and I just don't get along.
Mm.
Like me and vodka are like sworn enemies.
Oh wow.
Any type of vodka is just like I don't like you. It doesn't like me, and I'm okay with that. I've tried it out. I can't. But tequila makes me feel light and airy, and like
Mm.
I can take on the world, you know, with a little tequila in my system.
Mm. That's
Um,
That's how I feel about vodka, though. Honestly, or
vodka.
no, realist gin is my favorite, and I love gin.
Damn, girl.
What?
Gin?
Crazy? That's crazy.
Wow, that's very mature.
Very. She called me old.
Oof.
In fact,
I mean, not.
I am 4 years her senior, and she basically just said, you know that Kevin Hart shit where she was like, he goes, damn. That's what just happened right there. Uh,
Gin, like the I've only had gin one time, and I wouldn't do it again. But it like really burnt my nose. My nose hairs
well,
off.
I
So
hope you
like,
gotta get good gin. But no, I understand. A lot of people don't like gin. I
gin is
just
strong.
the tequila. I don't do well with sweets and alcohol, and tequila is just so. it's
That's my
fucking
problem. I love
agave.
sweet.
So,
I be getting fucking tequila. I mean, I don't even.
ooh,
I
it's
get
just
this, but like a tequila, pineapple, and Red Bull.
people love the and a Red Bull.
Whoa, yeah,
She's bugging.
yeah.
One
That's
time I
my
did a vodka
go-to.
Red Bull, and I was like, oh,
No,
I
I
was all
love it. I love it
nah, no way,
until I'm out.
no fucking
Yeah.
way,
I don't drink like a crazy person anymore. Back when I was younger, I used to be a problem. But like, I'm like
no,
pretty chill. Like, give me a little tequila Red Bull, take my time, sip my sip.
nah. Just recently, I was out clap. Clap. I drink like a crazy person still every now and then I have these sessions, so at least once a week
Oh
I'm
yeah, you do a little
definitely
something.
drinking a little something, something, something.
Yeah,
Um, are you single?
I am
Single.
single.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Ask. I ask because I just want to know, like, alcohol can change the trajectory, and the question just popped up to my head just now because you was like feeling flirty, after
Yeah.
that first sip.
Yeah.
Do you think that cocktail dates are like good for a first date?
Ooh.
Because like I kind of feel like it's hit or miss because if you get
Mm.
that weirdo
Mhm.
and then the weirdo comes out more after that first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you also get like a really like and then you stay there all night and
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like alcohol on the first date, like
So that's such a funny question.
uh-huh. Is
Um,
it?
I I think that for me, I don't know if I should be drinking on the first date, right? Because I'm just a good time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a vibe. So now you put some liquor in my system, I'm really vibing, and now you're really vibing, and now we're really vibing, and it's like, are we really
But
vibing though?
are
Because if I was sober, I probably wouldn't be as like
mm,
as maybe as I'm into this right now.
so but and
It could
more
be
or he could
misleading.
be exactly into you
Yeah, and
because
vice versa, because y'all could be vibes too, and I could be
right.
vibing with y'all or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think like drinking is cool because it can really open you up and it can allow you to really, you know, release your inhibitions and
Mm-hmm.
all those different things, right? But at the same time, I do think that you can have like a little bit more balls than you usually do. So now all this excitement and pizzazz and like
Yeah.
swag you
Yeah.
have is gone on a regular day to day basis.
This
Just
is
like when you
true.
start linking and y'all smoke on the first link, right? And every time y'all link, y'all smoke. And
And
then,
all of a sudden that nigga real introspective. But
right,
when he not
when he
smoking,
not
he
smoking,
got the stutter voice.
okay, and he raging every fucking where.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's
I
it's it's
it's iffy, right?
it's iffy,
Okay,
yeah.
because this like I didn't ask before like the my nail tech who I interviewed, she has a boyfriend, so it was like, you know what I mean. And I didn't ask my first guest actually, but I was like I did want to figure that out because a lot of the oh, she's a busy girl. A lot of the dating thing is, like, obviously you're not coming to my house and I'm not, necessarily trying to go to a movie theater or something like that. And
Mhm.
I don't drink coffee, so I'm not trying to go
Mhm.
to a coffee date.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people drink, and even if you go to like a bar or something, there normally is some sort of mocktail option if they
Yeah.
don't drink. But I just feel like it's a good spot. Like you said, like it could be misleading.
Yeah.
So I don't think y'all should invite any girl out for drinks at first, unless it's maybe over a dinner.
Mm.
Because then, you're like, when you go out for just drinks, you tend to maybe take them back a lot more than like if you're
Mm.
out for like a dinner or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But I think activity is good, like
Yeah.
bowling, and then
Yeah.
you can maybe introduce a drink after the first 20 minutes or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, she is cool.
Yeah.
Let me have a drink. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Activities. I think activities are good.
I think activities for sure.
I know that was a random question, but I just wanted to ask that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Why
that's
not?
good. I like that question.
I wanted to figure that out about her. Um, you said that you're a good time when you drink. That's actually the next question, and this is what
Okay.
I mean by we're linked here because that was literally the next question. Is literally what kind of drunk are you? Because tequila me, like if I allowed myself to continue and continue and continue, just
Yeah.
I want to fight. Normally, I'm a relatively happy drunk. Sometimes I
Yeah.
can get angry. Sometimes I can get sad. But I want to say it's a cool 6 out of 10 times that
Okay.
I'm in a relatively good mood. Not with
Okay.
tequila though.
Yeah.
What sort of drunk are you?
Well, now that I've changed my drinking habits and I'm a lot
Mm.
better of a mature person, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm a happy drunk. I think I'm a
Yeah.
flirty drunk. I want to
Hey,
party.
I
Let's have
want
a
to
good time
party. Yeah,
drunk.
let's keep drinking and have
Yeah.
more drinks drunk, right?
Yeah, and
That's
if
me.
ah
Oh, oh.
actually, I'm not gonna have that many drinks though because I don't need that much. I'm thick.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I'm thick, but I just can't handle too much. You know, like it doesn't work out for me. I used to be a sleepy drunk, a throw uppy drunk, a sloppy drunk. You
Yeah,
know,
that used to be
and
yeah.
like that was a reoccurring thing. I couldn't figure it out. Sometimes I take 3 shots and I'd be great. I take 3 shots and I'm fucked up in the bathroom. Like it was always back and forth. And I decided, you know what? I want to be cute all night. You know, I want to hold myself down
Can
all
I?
night. You know, I don't want people just talking shit about me because I'm fucked up in the bathroom all night.
All night. Just although I stay away from shots specifically for that reason.
Oh, period.
I don't
I'm
shots.
gonna have me a shot or two.
We
But
took a shot today, and honestly, I'm telling you, she's there.
yeah, definitely, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure,
She's there.
for sure.
So
Oh, I won't lie to you now.
I won't lie to you. So
But yeah, I definitely feel like now I'm like a good time drunk. I try to watch my limits, pay attention to my limits because
yeah,
alcohol poisoning and it be fucking with your brain for real. And I hate
yeah.
to be hungover. Like,
I've been the blackout drunk is really the biggest problem. The last time I've been that was my job's holiday party.
okay,
So
oh damn.
I feel like respectfully, oh no, we were all
Yeah, the
blackout
holiday
drunk.
parties is that's where it
Okay, it
happens.
was open bar, and if I didn't take advantage of it, I felt like that was silly, you know. So I don't think I was blackout drunk since then. I've been a good girl.
Okay, period.
When I'm out, I don't drink. I drink a lot. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm mindful of what I need to do.
Yeah.
But when I am in the house,
Yeah.
there ain't no limit on what's happening when I get to the house. I ain't gonna hold you. I did 14 espresso martinis deep when I'm in the house. I don't know what to
Oh,
tell you.
you're
Hey,
nasty.
oh, you don't like
All
espresso
I need,
martini?
no, they're good, but I can only
Oh,
have one probably, and then I'm
oh.
drunk.
And then I'm drunk. Well, are you the type who puts tequila in their espresso martinis?
Now I'll have it the way you make
Oh,
it.
cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna change everything, but
Side eye, cool.
I just figured I had the option today, so I tried it. Like why
That you did. That you did, princess. That you did. Okay.
not?
You're the last question,
Okay.
and then we're gonna jump into our trivia.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's your least favorite alcohol? Is it the vodka or because there's whiskey and cognac and stuff out there. Like, don't just jump on the I hate vodka train unless
Choo
you really don't.
choo. I hate vodka.
All right.
That's gonna be my answer.
Okay.
From Svedka to the
Wow.
blue bottle with the
She's
flavors
hitting
to the
names.
Tito's, like
Wow. She don't
everything.
even like gluten-free vodka. Wow.
I
Okay.
don't.
So then, what zodiac sign equals vodka? I'll give you a
Damn.
second. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah,
This is so bad because like I mean it, but I don't mean it. But like
Mm-hmm.
I low key feel a way about Virgos. But
Ooh.
like what I will say is that oh god. So in astrology, they have this thing called your North Node, and that's the sign that you're meant to kind of like your soul's mission is to align with the energy of this sign,
Mm-hmm.
and it's meant to appreciate and integrate their traits. And
Mm-hmm.
mine is Virgo.
Mm.
It's not self hate, but like sometimes Virgos, I just think Virgos carry the energy of who the fuck asked you?
Okay.
And sometimes that really gets under my skin
You know
because
a Virgo, right? That's your sister, right? And then
mm,
Jolene, I have a coworker who's a Virgo, and she does very much give "who the fuck asked you"
yeah,
vibes. Very
yeah.
much.
Like they're cool, they're the only human sign of the zodiac. So maybe they know some things, right? And they have
Hmm.
some perspective. But they can just very much so be like very cut and dry and rigid and and who the fuck asked you? And sometimes It's just not necessary. It's so nasty and
It's
so
so
rude.
nasty. Ew, she hit me with that nasty.
So nasty.
Okay, Virgos, check your fucking selves.
Check it
I feel like
before you wreck
someone
it.
might have said Virgo before.
Hey, they know. I'm an
Might have.
Aries.
Oh, period. That's why we get along so well.
What are
I'm
you?
Aquarius.
Oh yes, they're my favorite. Yeah, they're
That's
my
why we get.
tequila.
This is why we get
Yeah.
along so well. Oh
Yeah.
my God. See, again,
Yeah.
intuitive. Didn't even know that. Learning that right now, live. Breaking news.
And
Okay.
my Aquarius is in my 7th house, and that represents like your partnerships and relationships and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that any Aries,
I really want this cherry.
let's be friends.
I really want it.
Let me get you some more cherries.
Yay! Okay. That would be great, actually.
Inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
You got it.
Oh.
There you go.
Got it.
Oh.
Okay, this is my last one. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank
you. Crasdale Maraschino cherries. Sponsor me. Because my girl here, she loves your cherries.
I love your cherries.
We love your cherries. Okay. All right. It is officially trivia time. And she's had a little bit of a peek in these. So let's see how well she does against the house. You guys know there are 6 categories for her to choose from. There's rock and pop, TV and film, fun and games, people and places, science and nature, past and present. What would you like to do?
TV and film.
TV and film. I think that might be a relatively smart option. I do think that that's a probably your best shot. Let's go. All right, let's go. You got this. Come on, girl. I did tell her I don't trust and have belief in her, but like now I changed my mind. I think she got it. I think she got it. We can do this. We can do this. Okay. 60 seconds after I read the first question, okay? Ooh. If y'all heard that in a mic, my bad for crushing that ice. Okay.
I've been slapping the hell out of this mic. My bad.
Who starred in Rush Hour as a Hong Kong detective and performed his own stunts in the film?
Jackie Chan.
My girl. Which drug did Walter and Jesse cook up in the TV drama series Breaking Bad?
Crack. Cocaine. Heroin. Pass.
Okay. In the film The Wizard of Oz, who was the first companion Dorothy met on the yellow brick road?
Oh, shit. The Lion.
No.
The Tin Man.
Nope. There's only another answer, so.
Oh, shit. Damn. Tin Man. No.
Nope.
Lion. Scarecrow.
There we go.
Okay.
Food Network star Duff Goldman is known best for creating what kind of desserts?
Cheesecake.
No.
Pass.
Actress Meg Ryan had her first leading role in what romantic comedy?
Pass.
Who plays the part of Belle in the 2017 Disney film Beauty and the Beast?
What year?
2017.
Pass.
Bonus question. In which classic movie does Buttercup make requests to a farm boy who replies, "As you wish"?
Pass.
How many you got right? I think she got 1 right. 2 right. That's not bad.
Okay.
That wasn't. You did not win. But,
what would I have won?
We're gonna cut. I'm gonna tell her the answers, and you would have just won dignity, honestly. Okay.
It wasn't bad. I'm not mad at it.
Not that mad.
Some is better than nothing.
She don't have a choice because she can't do it over.
Hey.
But okay, that is that is the way that the cookie crumbles, and the house has won again. But thank you Thank you, Maya, so much
Of
for being
course,
on the
thank
show.
you.
I
This was so
appreciate it.
fun.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Oh.
This was such a good time.
Okay, please let everybody know where they can find you
Okay.
and the space that y'all saw in the intro. It's a listing on Peerspace. She's gonna let you know about that.
Yes. Yes. So you can find me on social media at Maya Nicole, MAYAAA. That's 3 A's. Nicole, NICOLE with 2 underscores at the end. The studio is at Studio 51. So at sign AT Studio 51. We're also on Peerspace. Hit me up on Instagram for the link. I mean, also in the studio Instagram is the link for the Peerspace. It's like colorful art filled Brooklyn studio apartment, whatever the fuck, you know. So just find the link on Instagram. And my art page is also Maya Nicole the artist, and I think I'm on TikTok as well, Maya Nicole the artist 0325. I just got up to do like TikTok live and stuff, so I'm about to be on there going live and painting and doing my thing dizzle. Um and yeah, that's
Little
where you
Snoop
could
Dogg
find
came out
me.
just now.
Yeah. I
Little
used to have
Snoop
the
Dogg
biggest crush on him.
did.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
stop.
God! Snoop Dogg, if you see this video,
Yeah.
hi,
Shout out to the Snoop
hi.
Dogg. But yeah, that's where you could find me. I'm Maya Nicole. And this was so much fun, and that
Yeah.
cocktail was good as shit.
See,
It was smack.
listen. This is a message for if you do see this. If you know a mom who is an entrepreneur or does anything, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing a month of mothers and I'm looking for mothers so far. I've reached out. There's some things tentative in the work, but please send me a DM or send me their name and I'll reach out to them. But I would love to highlight that. I'm also gonna do the same for fathers. So same for fathers. Message me, DM me, let me know about it, and I'll reach out to you guys. But yeah, thank you, Maya.
Of course.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Bye. Send your mamas. Send your
Send your
daddies.
mamas. Soundbite. Send your mamas.